Hey guys, welcome back to 90 Feet from Home. I'm your host Ashley, and today we're going to get into a pretty complicated statistic. And I'm not going to lie to you, this one is so out there that I don't expect anybody to really get it right away. I just kind of want to explain what the difference between the two stats are. And as you get more into advanced stats, this one might become a little bit clearer, but it is very confusing, and don't come away from this feeling like you missed something if you don't really grasp it. I'm just trying to explain the details. You'll get it soon enough. And because it is more theoretical versus actual numbers based, I don't want you to feel like if you don't understand it that you're going to miss out on something in baseball. This is actually an episode by special request, and one that I actually specifically mentioned in the trailer for the season. So we're going to get in today to FIP versus xFIP. If you haven't yet watched my video on FIP and other basic pitching statistics, I'm going to link that one down below. Give it a watch because it does actually break down what fielding independent pitching is, or field independent pitching, which is what I called it. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Fangraphs, which uses xFIP, refers to it as fielding independent pitching, but it is sometimes referred to as field independent pitching. And basically the entire gist of that is that it is pitching statistics which do not consider defensive assistance from the field. I know. Once you've watched that, come back to this and we'll get into this FIP versus xFIP insanity, okay? So if you don't watch that video and you just want a really quick reminder of what FIP is, it's field or fielding independent pitching, and it's just a statistic meant to measure a pitcher's value with defensive fielding removed from the equation. The idea there being is that it gives you a slightly truer measure of a pitcher's ability than ERA. xFIP is very similar, and it is expected fielding independent pitching. It's meant to measure a pitcher's run prevention independent of their team's defense. Now you might be asking yourself, as I did, is that not the exact same thing? Okay, so yes, it is, but in the case of xFIP, it actually takes a player's expected home run values instead of their actual home run values in completing the calculation. And I will throw the xFIP calculation up. Please don't try to memorize it. It's bonkers. It's crazy, and you're never ever going to try to do this on your own. Just wait until I get into Sierra. They won't even give you the calculation for that. It's just like, you maniac, why would you try to do this? Don't do the math. Never do math if you can help it. Stay in school, kids, learn math. Basically, to get an expected home run value, they look at factors like fly balls as well as the league home run to fly ball average. Basically, what xFIP is trying to do is establish a pitcher's true value by removing any kind of peripheral data noise. I'm talking with my hands a lot in this one because it's just like a lot of theory. Anyway, let's go on. So this does have value in a very different way than FIP does. The entire goal of this is to try to eliminate randomness. It also attempts to be predictive of future success in a way that FIP isn't. FIP itself recognizes numbers that are actual, home runs that have actually been given up. And that's why FIP is used as a factor in WAR, which is another episode we'll get into in the future, but it means wins above replacement, which tries to establish a player's value to their team and their replacement value. Basically how many, anyway, we're not going to get into that. WAR is its whole other thing, but FIP factors into WAR, whereas xFIP does not, because it's more of a theoretical number. And if I say theoretical one more time, you get to drink. Basically, it tries to eliminate intangibles. And that's stuff like fly balls versus home runs, which may not be a direct result of a pitcher's true skill. Theoretically, if a pitcher's xFIP is higher than their FIP or their ERA, it may be an indication of future issues and something that people may want to be concerned about, but also it might not. So pretty much it's just an interesting thing to look at as a predictive, but it's definitely something to take with a grain of salt. It's designed to be identical to ERA and FIP in the way it's presented, as in number dot number like 3.56, just to make it more easy to understand at a glance. So if you're comparing somebody's ERA to their FIP to their xFIP, you can pretty easily see a correlation between those numbers. So getting down to the brass tacks, at its most basic level, xFIP is meant to indicate a player's talent as opposed to their value. And I know that's a really hard distinction to draw the line between. Basically, FIP is about a player's performance for their team, i.e. their value. xFIP is all about how well they're actually pitching, or their root ability, and some might say their talent. Both metrics remove defense entirely and are trying to pinpoint what the pitcher themselves are actually doing. If you really want to get crazy about this, there's also xFIP minus, which is like an adjusted xFIP, or adjusted expected fielding independent pitching, and that's one of those those numbers based on the 100 scale, which gives you a percentage like WRC plus or OPS plus. According to Fangraphs, which is one of the sites that uses xFIP, it is one of the best indications of a player's future ERA of any pitching metric. So if you want to look at a young player or a player perhaps in the middle of their career and get a good idea of where they might end up in the future, xFIP is one of the best ways to assess how that pitcher may do in the future. So really, that's one of the only places you're going to regularly use something like xFIP, is to judge how well a pitcher may do going into future seasons. It's not really valuable for the current season, where FIP would be a better metric to go off of, because FIP actually looks at how many real home runs have been given up, whereas xFIP looks at expected and then adjusts accordingly. And that's, again, why FIP is used in WAR as opposed to xFIP, because those home runs were given up and they do count. So that's why FIP uses real data and xFIP uses adjusted or expected data. Like I said, that one's a real doozy, and it was by request, and it is not a statistic you're going to use in everyday baseball. But as you move towards trying to assess players and perhaps wanting to dive deeper into how well you think players are going to do in the future, or you really just kind of want to get a taste for advanced statistics, that's what xFIP is compared to FIP. So I know it's a lot to handle and it can be pretty confusing, but I hope that explains what the difference is and gives you maybe a little toe in to looking at more advanced statistics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that xFIP versus FIP video, which was one of the promised ones from the season trailer a couple months back. And you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so that you're notified every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday when new episodes go live. I would appreciate that. Also, you can give me a follow on social media, where I'm at 90 feet from home, everywhere social media feeds are found. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you can comment or suggest videos there, or my favorite place for you to do it, down below in the comments section. Tell me if there's any statistics you want to know more about, any advanced stats that you're maybe a little bit confused about and want an episode focused on, and I can break down the nitty-gritty details of those. Also, give the video a like, give it that thumbs up. Those actually tell YouTube that you want to see more content like this, so that my videos get shared with new viewers and get recommended more often. And that's how this channel exists, is with people watching these videos. So people like you, and it's much appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you next time, and have a wonderful day. Bye!